you date a black guy and you're disowned by your family. Stick around, I will start the story. I may not finish it in one go, but I'll start the story. So this happened when I was in Canada. I had recently migrated from India in my teenage years, and I had gone to undergrad and met somebody who was doing chemistry honors. I was doing biochemistry honors. And I mentioned that to say that because of the subject matters, we overlapped and we ran in some same circles. And then we started dating. Prior to this point, I was dating somebody else that my family didn't approve of. I gave up that relationship because of my family, because my family approval was important. By the time I met Garnett, I was like, no, I got to do my own thing. I can't just go for family. I got to do my own thing. So when I met Garnett and we started talking about this, telling my family and all, I went back and forth, and then I finally said, no, I'm going to tell my family. And the reason I did this is because at that time, and even now, a lot of South Asian kids, especially women, girls, South Asian girls, will hide from their parents the life they want to actually lead. So if they're dating, going out, or doing whatever, a lot of times they don't have parental permission for that, and they will hide, and we would live dual lives, basically. I was tired of that. I wasn't doing anything wrong, so I just wanted to share. When I did share, I was given an ultimatum, and the ultimatum was, it's either the black man that I was dating, it's either you want to show everybody that is your person, or the family, who matters more to you. That was the ultimatum I was given. Stick around, I will tell you in the next part. Talk to you soon.
My family, of course, they are racist, so they weren't very accepting of Daniel. It was the random comments sometimes towards either him or black people, and how we dealt with it, I cut them off.
She's technically half black with me now because she experiences everything I experience.
Someone in my family did tell me that I could date anyone I wanted. I could even be gay, but they would prefer if I didn't date a black person. And the person we were supposed to spend Christmas with them tells me, no, we would prefer it if you came, but you leave Daniel at home because this other person is not comfortable being around black people. Someone else uses the K word very openly. And the other day, this person visited me at work and came for a fight.
I just wanted to comment on this video about this Indian couple getting married. The Indian guy is very dark. He's basically my complexion, and his wife is a little fairer than him. And the comments they're getting, it's just like, why is this dark-skinned man with this lighter-skinned woman? It's just like complexion complaints from Indian folks, from their own folks.
और जब मैंने लोगों को रिएक्शन देखा, I was in touch, my family got targeted. You are nobody.
Anytime I see a video that really like hits me, I go, man, let me talk about it. First of all, India is like just, I mean, they are, when it comes to like complexions, I mean, listen, every brown society has complexion problems. This all stems from white supremacy and European colonization, European standards of beauty. This is all facts. India was colonized by England, Nigeria colonized by England, England colonized a bunch of Caribbean, France, all of that. So all the European influence made brown people feel like shit, okay? Even in their makeup products, if you go to some of these countries, when I was in Thailand, all the advertisement was light-ass Thai people, light as fuck, and most of the Thai people are dark brown. It's the same thing in the Philippines, same thing in some parts of Africa, and same thing in parts of Asia. It's insane. It's like even with Bollywood, it's like these Indians be light as fuck, but they still look Indian, which is hilarious. But they're light as hell. That's why I always advise people to watch movies from Telugu, the Telugu movies. That's a different part of India, but you'll actually see brown people because the majority of India is brown. So it's nice to see these new Telugu movies like RRR, for example. If you're ever interested, watch RRR and you'll see actually brown people. You know, of course, all these different countries are made up of different complexions, but they always put the lighter people in front. There's one called Light and Lovely, I think. It's a bleaching cream in India, Light and Lovely. I think it's Light and Lovely, I think. If I'm wrong, let me know. But it's like, they have that on the shelf like fucking Vaseline. They buy that Light and Lovely. In Nigeria, they had Ambi. I think it's still there. But a lot of lightening creams are in a lot of these countries, even in America, and it's pretty fucked up. And I heard that a lot of these lightening creams cause cancer like that. So for those of you who are lightening your skin, I don't want anything good to happen to you. Be yourself. Now, this is not me wanting people to die of anything, but you deserve to be poisoned because you already are poisoning yourself with your negative thoughts and ashamed of what you look like. Listen, I understand as a dark-skinned man. I understand people make fun of you. They do this, all this other. Yeah, it happened to me as a kid, but thank God I had strong Nigerian parents where dark skin is normal. It's okay. Being dark is great, all right? Be who you are. You understand what I'm saying? And I remember when light-skinned black folks would make fun of me. Yes, light-skinned black people say, you know, they call you black this, black that, dark this, that, this, but all my light-skinned friends look like now. That light skin doesn't hold up too long. Listen, it's a joke, but it's a joke though. But anyway, all complexions are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And that couple look great. And it's a shame that really India has a real serious complexion problem. And it's fucked up. It's really fucked up. And yeah, I just wanted to throw that out. So be proud of who you are. And all you dark folk out there, you're still dope. You're still amazing. And I know, listen, it gets really bad because even in the NBA, I think the NBA is very light-skinned now. The NBA is very light-skinned. It used to be darker back in the day. You look in the 80s and 90s, way more darker dudes. But now it's very light-skinned. That's probably why they don't play defense, because if you foul one of these light-skinned dudes, they'll bruise easy. You know what I mean? And you know, and I think this is an example. I think the reason why the NBA is so light-skinned, because you had a lot of insecure dark-skinned basketball players in the past, so they made sure they got with either really light-skinned women or white women to make sure their children didn't have to suffer later on. That's just a social theory, everybody. Hey man, I'm out of here.
Quick question. Why are Indian men always on a phone call? This is global. I've lived in many countries. If I get into a taxi in Stockholm and it's being driven by an Indian guy, he's on the phone. If I'm in New York and I go in a bodega and the guy behind the deli is an Indian person, he's talking on the phone. Who are you talking to? I don't mind, but I'm curious, like, what are you talking about 24/7?
All right, so this is a very, very long story. If you want to hear the entire story of how we met to basically how I ended up having all my kids, let me know and I'll start a part series for you. But if not, me and my husband met in high school. My dad ended up finding out and taking me to India to show me the culture and show me the way of how good little Indian girls are supposed to marry within their culture. And I'm pretty sure he was trying to leave me there, which wasn't successful. I ended up coming back to the United States and breaking up with my husband because I was like, there's just so much pushback when it came to my family. So I was like, okay, I can't deal with this. A few months later, I was like, look, I love this guy. I can't lose him. He is my person. So ended up getting back with him, but of course sneaking around about it. Got caught again by my dad. He was posted up in a parking lot and saw me, and I ended up running away from home. My parents are actually divorced. So my dad lives in Houston. That's where we were at the time. And my mom lives in Utah. So I ended up moving with my mom in Utah. Told her about the whole situation. She was like on the fence about it, but she was trying to keep an open mind. She's probably thinking, oh, this is just a fling. It's not going to last very long. And, well, ended up convincing her to move back to Houston. She actually wanted me to leave him already. So I was kind of sneaking around her back on being with him. So then one day I ended up running away again because there was just a lot of drama between my parents and my mom and my dad. It was a lot for me to take in. I was 17. I ran away. I was like, look, I can't do it. So I ended up getting caught after I ran away and going home. I was already, I think, 3 months pregnant at the time. My mom immediately said, get an abortion. He's going to leave you. He's going to knock you up and not ever talk to you again. You know, stereotyping black men. And I was like, you don't know him. You don't know what we have and all that. So anyways, ultimately, as soon as I turned 18, I had my son 3 weeks before I turned 18. So after I had my son, waited about 2 months to stack my money and moved out. So over the years, my mom's been a little bit more open-minded about the kids. She says she likes them. Her actions are different. But, you know, ultimately, I feel she only likes my kids that look Indian and not black. So actions speak louder than words to me. So there's that. My dad, on the other hand, he never had pictures of the kids, never really asked about them, doesn't really care, said I was off in school in some foreign land to all his people. So I haven't talked to him in like over a decade. So short story.
I saw a video of a Punjabi girl married to a black man recently on TikTok, and the comments were wild. Like, I saw so many fake profiles in there and so many angry men in the comments, like, oh, you're going to be a single mother, or it's never going to work out, or oh my God, you're bringing shame to the community. Why are the men in our community so territorial? Like, since when did we need permission from the community to be like, can I date outside of my culture? It's none of your business, and it's not impacting you in any way. I find the craziest is they would rather see you with someone who's toxic and disrespectful and you're miserable, but as long as they're within the same culture as you're, the same race, that's okay. But the minute it's someone who might be kind to you, might be treating you well, but they're a different race or they're from a different culture, all of a sudden it's a problem.
I can never possibly love my country, India. And I am proud to admit it that I can never love my India. How can one love their country when one or the other rape cases, and now the commonly with children, it's occurring every single day, and some cases are not even being registered. If you all don't remember about the Arjikar case that happened back in 2024, a doctor got raped while being in duty in Arjikar Medical College. She did not get justice still, by the way. Before that case happened, we used to think that West Bengal is a really safe state. That's not true. 80% of the rape cases were never even registered. What did these women, what did these poor children even do to receive such kind of treatment? Though no woman ever deserves it, but what did they possibly do to be raped brutally and to be murdered? This is just sick and beyond words. Why should a woman suffer because you can't control yourself? Why should a woman suffer because of your lust, because of the way you look at them? A 13-year-old girl returning back from school wanted to go back home, but the auto driver sold her to a hotel and she was raped continuously by 30 men for 5 days. The worst part is she's alive and she has to live with this trauma for the rest of her life. Now, what did she do? A 9-year-old girl wanting to buy gifts for her friend for her birthday, raped. And you know how some people are justifying this? They're justifying this on the basis of religion. Like, what is wrong with the people of India, man? And now recently, a 7-year-old girl has been lured into, I guess, by chips or something. She was raped and murdered and thrown into the basement of a construction by 2 construction workers. Just amazing. Why are we not creating a fear that if you ever touch a woman's body, you will be murdered instantly? Like, why are we not creating that fear? Of course, a rapist will rape, because they know that they will be released within 3 years. They will get bailed. Of course, like they'll just have to what? Sit in jail for 3 years? That's not much. Then they will safely roam around in the streets, probably raping another person, while the victims' families mourn for what they had lost. Do you think that this can be justified by any means? And some people still have the guts to say, what was she wearing?
That's why I don't watch Bollywood movies, because I think they did one movie on colorism, and they had a lighter white passing actress
put on dark makeup
so
she could talk about the struggles of someone with
right, and people were like, well, at least they're talking about it. I'm like, no, there's literally half of the country that could have played that role.
But you're not in our circle.
So as a Guyanese West Indian woman, I actually just wanted to add my 2 cents on this, because growing up back home, my family was one of 2 Indian families in a predominant Black village. And we were always taught to, respect our elders, regardless of the skin tone. You respect everyone around you. My best friends were Black. We went to school with everyone who were Black. And I don't think my grandpa even really knew why he did not want, you were allowed to be besties. His best friends were Black. Our neighbors were Black. When we kill our animals for Christmas time, we done feed half the village. But he always used to preach, you never marry a Black person. And I don't think we really truly knew why we felt that way. Obviously now looking back, slavery, because we were the lighter skinned slaves. The slaves that came from Africa were meant to feel that we were superior to them because of our skin tone. But a slave is a slave is a slave is a slave. And all of my aunts and uncles later went on to marry a Black man or woman. And so all my cousins are, biracial or Dougla for the Guyanese people. That's what we called a biracial person. You're a Dougla. And so I don't think he fully knew why he was supposed to feel that way, but he did. And I mean, like I said, all of my cousins are mixed, except for me. My mom married a Guyanese Indian person. So, but I mean, even as a Guyanese Indian person, I'm like 12% Black. So the mixture happened, whether we liked it or not. But it was just interesting for me because I never felt like it was racially profiling back home. We break bread with them. We invite everyone over. We have parties. We sit down. We congregate with them. We go to their weddings. They come to our weddings. We were very much immersed in each other's cultures. And so it never felt like the North American version of racially profiling someone or racism. It never felt that way. But of course, it's obviously still a version of that to say that you can be best friends with them and, we can grow up our entire lives with them. But, you can't marry that person because they're Black. I don't think it ever really had anything to do with, your skin tone. Because especially in Guyana, it's a Caribbean country. It's very hot. Everyone have some level of melatonin going on. I think we just have to thank slavery for that. Thank the white people for conditioning us and putting us to fight against each other, because even to this day, the Black and the Indians are fighting and we don't know what the fuck we're fighting for. But it's just interesting, South American versus North America, how you look at things. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on it.
So do my Indian parents finally accept my half-Black children? Let's get into it. So last I left off, I haven't spoken to my dad in over a decade. I think the last time I spoke to him was in 2013. I don't need him in my kids' lives. He disowned me a long time ago, or I felt he disowned me, even though I felt like he wanted to communicate with me, but he didn't want to own up to the fact that he has half-Black grandchildren. He would tell people I'm off somewhere studying. The kids didn't exist. There was no pictures of me in this house. There's no pictures of the kids in this house. Anytime I would see one of his friends, oh, how's school? Bro, I'm married. But anyways, yeah, I don't need that in my life. You'll learn more about my upbringing with my dad and my stepmother in another video. There's a lot there. Anyway, so now let's get into my mom. I tried. Guys, I tried. And I'm like, okay, let's see if she changed. And I would use little triggers to see how she would react. There were 3 things that I'm like, wow, you can still do this to this day? So one was my 21-year-old hurt his Achilles in December. He got hurt. I told Instagram, Facebook, all of that. So my mom follows me on Facebook. So she read it. And I also told my sister, who told my mom. My mom writes me 4 days after it happened. And she was like, she wrote me on Facebook Messenger. She's like, is, Elijah okay? I was like, he's okay. He's in a lot of pain. She wrote me 2 days after that message and gave me a thumbs up emoji. A thumbs up. Okay, whatever. So I decided to visit my sister in Maryland, and because she just had a baby and I wanted to see my nieces. There's 2 of them. So I went there with my oldest daughter, who was her favorite when I was younger. She was literally like, give me her and I want to raise her again like she was her daughter, because, apparently she didn't raise me and my sister right. Yeah. Anyways, so I brought her to Maryland to see her grandmother because she also wanted to see her uncle and her aunt and all of that good stuff. And my mom, the only thing she really said to my daughter was hi. There was no conversation. There was no, oh, how's school? Or what are you doing? Are you working? There was no trying to get to know her granddaughter at all. And I'm like, that's crazy. You would think she wants to get to know her grandchild. Like, who wouldn't want to get to know your grandchild? If I had a grandchild, I want to know everything about that child. But yeah, she really wasn't trying to talk to that child. And it was very disheartening to see. Very disheartening. I'm like, wow, Okay, I'm gonna have to get to a part 2 because there's not enough room in this video for this.
So that makes it okay. And people who know better should inflict the same cycles of behaviour. What? I've literally seen black people be racist to Indians too. But that don't mean I'm going to sit here and say it's okay when Indians are racist back to black people. And I'm not denying that some people can be racist in every culture. But I'm not talking about ignorant people here. I'm talking about those of us who know better. I'm talking about the same people who want to scream racism, but continue to remain ignorant. In the context of what I'm speaking about, and to the level of this racism, no argument can justify it. These are innocent people making food and just doing their bit in their country, trying to earn a living. And people in the comments are using it as an excuse to be racist. And this comment just backs all of that up. I think it's sad that black and brown people experience so much racism and then decide to point fingers at each other. But I'm not here to get into that. My point was that every single one of those videos have millions of views and hundreds and thousands of comments, of which most of them are racist towards Indian people. And no matter what anyone says, that racism cannot be justified.
I'm a Muslim and he is Sikh Hindu. And my religion does not allow me to even be with someone from a different culture.
One time, her mother phoned me, right? He told me, so just leave my daughter. I don't want you in her life.
My parents warned me. And my mother actually got people to eradicate him. Not kill him, but eradicate him. Take him out of the way.
My father, first thing he told me, he said, this is gonna be a problem for you.
I spoke to my family, they disagreed. They used to mock him and all those things. There was a time, when we said, it's over for both of us. We can't go through this anymore. And at that time, I gave up. I was like, I love you, but it's not going to work out. Our families won't allow it, and religion doesn't allow it, people doesn't allow it, society doesn't allow it. I secretly, behind my parents' back, I went and met him, and I said, no matter what happens, I'm going to make this come true.
As somebody who's half brown and black, I'm going to kind of tell you guys why I feel like brown people don't typically like to mix with black people, from somebody who's half black and who's half brown. So I kind of get both perspectives of the reasonings as to why. And I understand why some black people don't want to mix with brown people too, because they don't want to be racism against other people of color, because they feel like that's the case. Unfortunately, black people, we go through racism, period. We go through racism from all people. I don't care if you're a person of color, they're racist to us, black people. So I'm going to tell you why I feel like brown people don't like typically to mix with brown people. It's not that we don't like each other. We love each other. There's connections there, but it's deep rooted because brown people also experience racism, towards all minorities. Everybody's racist to us to a certain degree. Even other Asian people don't think South Asian people are Asian. It was just recently, I think after COVID, that they were like, stop Asian hate. And then brown people started speaking up like, we are also brown too. But we as brown people also go through so much racism on a very specific level that a lot of brown people already know that they're going to be racist to us because we're brown. And then they're going to be racist to you because you're black. So that's a double whammy racist. And brown people are very sensitive. So they probably just don't want their people to go through that. They don't want somebody who's from their family to go through the double racism. You know what I mean? And racism is not really something that we typically talk about in the brown community that we go through, because we kind of already know how they are racist to us. But then we also always break those stereotypes, educated, hardworking, all that good stuff. But then also not perfect. Trust me. So I don't know, if the Auntie G's and the Uncle G's are, saying perfect. No, baby, no. I'll tell you this right now. No. Okay. But I feel like brown people don't like typically to mix with black people, because brown people already go through racism at a very unique, steep, severe level. And then we already know that people are going to be racist to us for being brown. And then they know that they're going to double whammy the racism for being black. So they just kind of want to prevent that. I feel like that's what it is. Don't ask me about my parents, Don't ask me about my parents. I kind of lucked out too because I just lucked out like with myself because I'm even different from my sisters and everything like that. So like I claim it. If they want to be, I can have a full dialogue about racism because I'm actually a social worker. So I will talk about it and I will express it and all that stuff. But oh yeah, like for me, like I think I have a good understanding of my culture. So from both sides. So I don't have like, you know, I don't know. I don't feel it as much, although I definitely do feel it. But I just don't like, it doesn't have power over me. Maybe because I can say nigga, you know? I'm not gonna lie. Having the privilege to say nigga, it's so freaking nice. Like, I can't lie. Like, it really do get me through so much hard times in my life. So I really do want to say, like, you know, it's a blessing. But yeah, I don't know. I lucked out with my mom too. She's like, I feel like she's not brown, but she definitely is because she can clock the brown people with our traditional dialect. So I know a little bit of the traditional dialect. It's amazing. But yeah, anyways, I feel like brown people don't typically mix with black because we already go through racism as brown people through everybody else, and then they know that it's going to be double whammied if you mix with a black person. So that's just what it is. That's what I think. If you believe it, if you agree, comment below, let me know. If you're half brown, half black, let me know what you think. I want to know. I'm exploring this for my research purposes. You know, I'm using this data in my academic researches, guys. So all this information is not in vain. Okay? Love y'all.
We see a lot of backlash when Indian girls marry Kenyans.
Yes.
As you saw earlier, Ukule Bukusu land. There's a Luya man and an Indian, and it went viral. Why do you think there's that backlash?
That's what I was saying. Vashita was a very fundamental program in that one. When the Indians came here in the 18th, 19th century for the railways, they came in a small group to work and to teach people agriculture and railways. So that was our forefathers. So when they came, when you come to a new country, there's so many barriers: language, religion, food, everything. So that was all there. It's like me taking you to the UK and you've never been, or you've never been around Muzungus. You can imagine how you feel. So it started as a protective thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then it became like, okay, let's just preserve our culture because, you know, we are just a small group. Then they became bigger and they settled and all that. So as we started settling, then it became that one of, you know, and I keep telling people, it happens in every culture. So let's say I'm a Moindi, right? I employ you. You're a railway track person.
Yeah.
Now I have a daughter. You fall in love with the daughter. But I know you're a railway track worker. Would you really let me marry your daughter? Marry my daughter to you? It's like me asking you, your daughter falls in love with the soldier.
You're like, no.
From a different culture completely. Or even from the same culture these days. Let's just take it as a basic
you
thing.
just think about a security
man.
guard. Most likely now.
You see, that's what I'm saying. I think most people were now Nanga. Yes, Waindis, they have that Maringo because they employed people. Yes, it becomes a power thing. I'm not denying it.
Yeah.
Any person who's on top, they feel they've reached there. And, you know,
you can only marry on top.
Yes.
But what if that
even like
top
culturally
is an African? What if that CEO is a Bukusu CEO?
Yes.
Will it bring the same backlash?
That's what I'm saying. Like what happened, first it was cultural thing. They didn't know people. Then it became a power thing. Where Indians were mostly employing Africans because of the work. Then it became that one like religion, culture, food, everything is different.
Yeah.
Boy, it's only now in the past few years, I can say, we are exploring each other's cultures.
Yes,
when
and
you guys have a
appreciating
wedding,
your food.
yes,
Yeah.
you guys have a wedding, you want to dress up as Indians in a sari and stuff. Us, People have African nights. Wanataka kitenge nini. Unajua?
Yeah.
Like someone like me, because I've been working in the fashion industry for so many years, and I used to only do African weddings, Kenyan weddings. So, naendanga kwa Kikuyu wedding, naenda Rorasho, nini. I've been exposed to all the
so
cuisines.
much, yeah.
You know? Paka my favorite is jahe.
Hey.
Sukuma na ugali sana. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. I've been exposed. So for me, the world is a beautiful place. Whether you're this or you're me or you're a Muzungu, it doesn't matter.
You gave an interview where you said that India is regressive and depressing. I think you need to do your homework well, because I said Indian society is regressive for women, with gang rapes making the headlines of every newspaper, with honor killings. Today I read in the paper, according to UNFPA, 40% of Indian women are married below the age of 18. I think it's a very, very regressive state for women. And I stand by it.
You said you are not happy with the state of affairs in this country. It's regressive and depressing.
Can we play my interview right now?
So
right now, let's play it.
My question is, when you go ahead and say, which might be the truth, absolutely. When you come in India and you say, it's a regressive, it's regressive for nation, for women and all, we understand, we believe it. On an international platform, when you go out there, for them, the only word that comes to their mind is not women, is India. And what they say is, so that's how India is. They already think India does not have buildings, India still has animals, India still has crowd, India still has busties. But we have education in India. That's my point. Yeah.
I am never going to lie. Or please, मैं आप सबसे पूछती हूँ मैंने क्या गलत बोला अगर सच बोला तो. I really want to know from every woman here.
I think you're answering it absolutely from your heart and with your emotions. So you have to be a little calm because this is expected for whatever it is.
But I expect women of this country to stand by me.
It's known by everybody.
अगर हम औरतें ही अपने बारे में बात नहीं करेंगी तो कौन करेगा? हरियाणा में फीमेल फीटिसाइड कितना है मालूम है? 1,000 men to 700 women कोख में ही मार देते हैं. और इस देश में देवी की पूजा की जाती है और फीमेल बच्चे को कोख में मार देते हैं. और फिर यही आके प्रेस मेरे पे पत्थर फेंकती है कि मैंने भारत का नाम बदनाम किया. मैंने कहा सच बोल के कमाल है यार.
Besides Kamala Harris, I don't know many other like black and Indian people.
I think there's a lot of racism within Indian culture against the black community.
Yeah.
But now people are getting empowered, saying, "Look, mom, if you want to be a part of my life, you're gonna have to deal with this." And moms are like, "Oh my god, I don't want to lose my kid." Okay. Okay, let's go to E40 concert. Like I will learn your culture.
Sometimes I open my Instagram and I get a DM from someone saying, "Hi, black cow." I don't really know what to say. They're obsessed with my skin color.
Really?
And I think it's because when a woman is talking about her expectations from a relationship, especially an Indian woman, and she says it so openly that I need a guy to treat me like this.
Yeah.
Then they look at, oh, but are you fair?
What do you deserve? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you light-skinned? And if you're not, oh, no,
Shut
you're...
up.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the kind of comments that I get. I've also got comments, oh my God, this is the funniest one. There was this one guy who commented on my video saying, oh, she's dark-skinned, she's black, so she's one of the leftovers. So I have no idea how she has the balls to talk about her. They literally called me a leftover. And I was so shocked by it, but it's just a part of social media, right?
Hey,
what can you do?
Please, I don't get the colorism thing because I also got it. Like, for me, I got it from someone who sent me a DM being like,
married out of caste.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you first?
Yeah, and again, the intention was when I met Shindy, like I know some people have this thing about asking very early or looking at the surname. It doesn't really matter, man. So I didn't go in thinking Jatana Biakarna. And that,
very
to be honest, from a young age, it wasn't ingrained in me, like, you have to find Jatakuri. That wasn't like on the agenda. When it came up as a thing, there was like very little resistance within the family. I got a lot, obviously my nan all in India. They're like happy to all to see. Like, it's more about, again, it comes to the values of the families. How is the person, number one, and how is their family? That's more of a thing.
In my family, I didn't have any chance of doing that. I knew that when it came to my sister, she got married quite young, about 24. Okay. She was told specifically, you have to meet a Munda who is Jat. Okay. And it was like, okay, fine, that's the expectation that my mum and dad have put on.
And so if you look at that now, so I'll ask you the question,
not
that it's you, but you as the surrogate. What is it that they think they're getting with the Jat?
I think it's the realm of knowing what you're going to get. As in,
which
we
is
understand
what does Jat equal?
I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to
I don't know. I'm like, but they're trapped in the past because parents are bringing their expectations or their understanding of what life used to be for them, bringing their beliefs and entrenching it and never letting them grow. But we hope that caste isn't a major thing that people focus on nowadays. I understand why you would for parental differences and to keep your parents happy. Genuinely think about yourself. That's just me now speaking. Think about what you want in the person, how they are. That's it. Sorted. Happy? All right.
What's one race you wouldn't date?
I'm not into black women.
Oh. Why is this always the answer? I need to know this right now. So you think I'm ugly?
No, that's not it. You're conventionally a very pretty girl. It's just a preference. I actually tried to kind of see a black girl for a little bit, but I just couldn't like get into it. Like, I mean, if a girl's half, it's different. But like a girl who's like fully black, for some reason, it's just...
So it's just like a preference of skin tone. So you don't like black people?
No, I love black people, but I'm just not attracted sexually to black women.
What's one race that you wouldn't date? Definitely Caucasian men.
Totally understand. It wasn't really that deep, but sure, yeah, whatever you want to say.
Okay, the Hindu Indians are acting insane on Twitter. Someone was like, can't wait for Pakistan to look like this in a few months, and it's stuff that I would consider South Asian culture. I've seen so many retweets similar to this one. Basically saying that like Pakistani Muslims are stealing Indian Hindu culture. First of all, it happened like centuries ago, and like cultures can mesh over time, like deal with it. Like, I would love to sit down with these people and ask them, why exactly do they hate so passionately Pakistani Muslims? Because they came up to us hundreds of years ago. I was like, no, you're doing things wrong. This is the right way to do it. Kind of like what you're doing right now. You're no different from the same people you're criticizing right now, huh? South Asian culture as a whole is a really like weird thing when it comes to tradition. This is how it's done and it's stay like this. Like, chill the fuck out. Cultures have always fucking evolved throughout human history. And that is the one fucking thing that has been constant this entire time. And who are you? You are not God. You are not a deity. You are a regular human being. Okay, the Hindu Indians are acting insane on Twitter. Someone was like, can't wait for Pakistan to look like this in a few months, and it's stuff that I would consider South Asian culture. I've seen so many retweets similar to this one. Basically saying that like Pakistani Muslims are stealing Indian Hindu culture. First of all, it happened like centuries ago, and like cultures can mesh over time, like deal with it. Like, I would love to sit down with these people and ask them, why exactly do they hate so passionately Pakistani Muslims? Because they came up to us hundreds of years ago. I was like, no, you're doing things wrong. This is the right way to do it. Kind of like what you're doing right now. You're no different from the same people you're criticizing right now, huh? South Asian culture as a whole is a really like weird thing when it comes to tradition. This is how it's done and it's stay like this. Like, chill the fuck out. Cultures have always fucking evolved throughout human history. And that is the one fucking thing that has been constant this entire time. And who are you? You are not God. You are not a deity. You are a regular human being.
I got hate crimed and physically assaulted last night for being Indian, and I want to talk about it. I went to dinner with my friends last night. At the table sitting next to us were two couples that were absolutely wasted. When their food was delivered to them by the waiter, one of the girls knocked the food out of the waiter's hands, and words were being thrown around, which was crazy because there was not a single black person in sight. My friend, loudly enough for them to hear, says, "We don't say the N-word." The girl that knocked the food out of the waiter's hand walks over to our table, and she notices that my friend is a trans woman and starts spewing bigotry, slurs, hatred, harassment. I'm a very assertive person, and when I see things like that happen, I say something about it. So obviously I stood up and I reprimanded her for what she was saying. Don't do that to my friend. Don't say things like that to my friend. She then starts yelling at me, saying racist things about me being Indian, calling me the N-word. She walks up to me, punches me in the head twice, and then takes me by the hair, starts pulling my hair out of my scalp, holding me down. Every example of any person that looks like me fighting back flooded my brain, and I was genuinely too afraid to even do anything in self-defense. I think one of the reasons I felt that way too is because I felt the bodies of my friends around me, around her neck, by my side. There were 5 people pulling her off of me. We fled the restaurant. We're still trying to figure out who she is. If you know a Valerie that lives in LA, bleach blonde hair, really yellow, 1 foot of brown roots, let a girl know. When I called my dad and I told him this morning, he said, well, Cass, you've learned a lesson. When things like this happen, you stay silent, you don't involve yourself. I was born in India and I've lived in India. I know what it's like to not be a minority and be surrounded by people that look like me. And when I moved to this country when I was 12, I realized it doesn't matter if I'm a citizen. The way that people look at me is as a stain that any sort of slight provocation will cause them to try to get rid of. Indian hate is so normalized online as it just being online, it's not real. Negative sentiments online turn into scary things that happen to real people. But I want to use myself as an example where something like this should not make you want to stay silent and be passive. It should make you so angry that you want to talk about it more and more and more. Thank you to everyone that's reached out to me. I think it's just gonna take me a second. Yeah, stay safe out there.
You knew that there was going to be backlash. You were ready for it, but you knew that you wanted to be with me.
For telling your parents, right, the couple really need to sit down and be like, what do you want out of this relationship? How far are you willing to go?
Yeah.
Would you divorce me if your mum said to?
Would have ended ages ago. Imagine if you'd listened to what your mom was saying, or I had listened to what my dad was saying.
Yeah.
They fell in love with somebody that their parents did not accept. And it's really sad that this is still happening in 2024.
I was young, like I said to my dad, I or this girl ran off because the parents didn't approve. And I was sitting and I was like, oh, that's good. And then my dad's like, oh, so you would do that? And I was like, well, if the parents are accepting and if the couple is in love, then hell yeah, just run.
I wonder if the reason why a lot of brown people, meaning like South Asians, think that they're better than other people because of their proximity to whiteness. I wonder if they think that because when the British colonized India, instead of treating Indians like actual like slaves like they did to Africans, they treated them just a tiny bit better, right? So they gave them, they made them contracted indentured slaves, right? Basically giving them a contract saying like, hey, we're going to take you and bring you and like have you do all this work other places, and you're going to come back in like a certain amount of time. And of course, that's like way better than how they treated Africans. However, once the white people brought Indians to like Fiji, Guyana, Trinidad, Jamaica, all these places to work in fields, they basically treated them exactly like Africans, right? And sorry, I will say not exactly like Africans, but they literally treated them very similarly to Africans, African slaves. So I wonder if why today a lot of South Asians associate people's value with their proximity to whiteness is because of that. And obviously, like, this could be a super layered, super complex thing, but that could be one of the reasons. And I wonder if that really is one of the reasons, because South Asians were treated better, but they still were not, you know, as bad as Black people. And that's probably another reason why South Asians are like pretty racist and colorist towards Black people, because here we are, all like the superior whites telling them like, oh no, you're not as bad, you're worse than me, but you're not as bad as them. So that makes you in the middle.
Listen, I understand that watching those videos about what race would you not date and everyone says Indians doesn't feel good. I also understand for as long as I've lived, the representation of Indian women has not been great. I also know that some forgotten president said to the world that Indian women are unattractive and some ignorant people decided to believe him. But if I see on this app Indian women saying, oh my gosh, I'm like nobody's type, or like when he says he likes Asian girls, but it's actually East Asian girls, I will literally throw my chappal at you. Because I know y'all don't think you're ugly. Because I know that you know that people get spray tans to look like us. People get their eyebrows microbladed to look like us. People get eyelash extensions to look like us. People get hair extensions to look like us. And I can continue to go down this list, but I think it's time for us to stand up and finally enter our villain era. I love it when I see a group of Indian girls go into Garba, go into a party, go into wherever event that they're going to and think they're hot shit because they are hot shit. And I'm not saying that we should feel above anyone, but I'm also saying that we shouldn't feel less than anyone.
On today's episode of things that are normalized in the South Asian community that are actually not normal at all,
We are going to talk about how the parent expects the child to marry someone who fits their ideal rather than their actual child's ideal. For example, a South Asian kid can bring home a partner, and instead of focusing on whether or not the kid is happy, they're focusing on whether or not the partner has the education that the parent wants, the personality traits that the parent wants, and then they wonder why their child is so unhappy in their marriage. And so if you're South Asian and you don't really agree with this in the way that I do, just know that the cycle can completely end with you. And that no, it isn't normal for parents to infringe their needs onto someone else's relationship, especially their own child's. And if you're South Asian and you're currently going through this kind of pressure, just know that you are the one that has to live with your partner, not your parents.
Have you ever wondered why you rarely see South Asian and Black marriages? Let me give you a little story time of what happened to me a few years ago. So I was doing my master's at the time and I met this guy on Plenty of Fish. And at the time, I've never dated an Asian guy before. It's literally just been Black people. And he was really charming over the messages. Literally, we got off the app very quickly. We met on the first date. I was just taken aback. He was very successful. I was successful too, considering what I was doing my master's in. But he was like super successful for our age. We were both 24 at the time, I think. And he was driving a Porsche. His dad was like one of the managing directors for a major bank in the UK. They lived in this massive mansion in Wimbledon. It was every girl's kind of dream to find a guy who was sweet, loving, affectionate, all this stuff. And on the first date, he said to me, he told me this really sad romantic tale about his mum and his dad and how his mum was from an upper caste, and his dad was a lower caste, based on like in India, they have this caste system where if you're dark skinned, you're kind of lower down the line in society, and if you're light skinned, you're upper up. So his mum was like a light skinned background and the dad was dark skinned. But they both met at one of the red brick universities in London, and they were both studying physics. So when the mum fell in love with the dad proposed, and the mum's family, this is back in the 90s, the mum's family said no, that if you marry this guy, we're going to disown you. And she fell in love with, the boy's dad. Let's call him Ahmed. His name's not Ahmed, but I don't want to put his details out here. So Ahmed's dad proposed to Ahmed's mum, and the family disowned her, basically. Anyways, cut long story short, he obviously became super successful in his field in banking. She was a stay-at-home mum. They had several kids. But it just never worked out. But they're still happily married after many, many years and have built this beautiful life together. So when he told me that kind of warmed my heart, like, oh, bless. So, he's a product of romantic tragedy. So that means it's not so bad that we are dating. Because I always know that I have rarely ever see Asian, South Asian and Black marriages. Keep in mind that point of that story he told me on the first date. So now we've got really serious, and I think we're 5 months in now. So I'm like, it'll be nice to meet your siblings, to kind of know, your family a bit. And then he just got really cold and said, no, you can never meet my family because they'll disown me. And I was like, how will they disown you? You've already told me on the first day. I remember you told me the story of your mum and your dad and how they disowned your mum and how your mum and dad still survived. And he was like, yeah, but even till today, they're family members that have never spoken to them. There's a whole side of his mum's family that just don't know them. And they're still like frowned upon in society and stuff. So there's certain weddings they still don't get invited to. So literally that stigma of what happened when his mum and his dad got married, is still following him, like 24 years later. So then I thought to myself, but why, if you knew all of this, why did you pursue me? Why did you date me? Like, why? What's the point? If you knew that it wasn't going to go anywhere and nothing could come from it, because you already know, like, I've already said, I want to be married and stuff like that. This was when I was dumb, before I knew my own advice now. But I told you all of that, and you were just, on it. And he paid for all the dates, paid for everything. We used to have great times in the summer. It was just such a wonderful love affair. We didn't have sex though, but we did stuff and stuff. But it was just so wonderful. So why, at what point did you, And then it just got me thinking, it doesn't matter what a man says or what a man does. You really just, much of this stuff is luck, because some men will tell you one thing but still do another and have exactly, what they're going to do in the back of their chest. So the take-home message for this is this. Until you get the ring, all bets are off. That's why I've written this book, Single to Engage in 1 year. Because until you get the ring, sis, until he's put the ring on your hand and says, will you marry me? Anything can happen. What you think you know, you may not know. What you think he said, he may not mean. Or may have happened, but you know, he's just said it to you to feed you this lies. All the money he's spending on you on these luxurious dates that you're going on, this flashy Porsche that he's driving, this money that he's spending, this beautiful house that you go into, and you know, the parties he's invited you to, his friends, all this stuff, hanging out with his friends, all this wonderful thing that this generous, nice, handsome, benevolent, kind-hearted man is doing for you. It don't add up to nothing if at the end of it, there is no ring in sight. I promise you, all these things that are happening in your life, really evaluate it. Does it look like this man is going to propose anytime soon? We've had the conversation. What was his reaction? Was he in support of marriage? Does he say he's going to give it a timeline when he's going to do it? If he don't put the ring on your hand, it's all dust. Dust. Poof. Breast milk. Poof. Dust. Okay? So heed my warning and learn from my experience from years ago. Luckily, I'm happily married and I'm now pregnant. But I remember younger me. So this book is actually written for younger me with all my life experiences. Be been warned. Sis, don't let another man waste your time. Forget what he says. Men do a lot of this. Don't let this this is the ultimate answer. Not this, not actions. This, okay? I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to pre-order the book in the link above. Love you. Bye.
How they would date white women are also under some sort of spell? Is it true that most black men out there who date white women are seen as a lesser men, are seen as men who are inferior, who are being intimidated by black women, are seen as men who can approach a black woman, who can have a constructive conversation with a black woman, who can tolerate a black woman? Is that really true? Because currently that is the narrative that is being pushed now, that a lot of these black guys who are dating these black girls are they are seen as not courageous enough. I mean, they are seen as lesser men. But when most of these white black women get married to the white men, they see it as dating up the ladder. But when a black man dates a white woman, it is dating down the ladder, because they feel that at the end of the day, their relationship is going to be controlled by the white woman and not the black man. Is that really what's happening right now in 2026? So a lot of women out there are saying that it is not normal for a black person or a black man to approach or date or even consider the fact of getting married to a white woman, that it is not normal right now, that most of the black men out there who do this right now are under some sort of spell. That is what most of them are saying right now, that they are under some sort of spell, that it is not normal, that some sort of voodoo has been done on them for them to reject a black woman that they interact with every day and choose a white woman, a slave owner. I mean, people who have dark history, people who have systematically oppressed them, and they feel that it is so absolutely wrong for somebody to sit down and phantom the idea of dating a black woman. Is that a white woman? Is that really true? I mean, this is what most of these ladies are saying right now, and I'm so baffled about the whole thing. They want you to leave them and come and date them, but when you leave them to come and date them, I mean, you start hearing about the standards they're putting in place. You start hearing about all the attitudes they're giving you. I mean, all the rules and everything, and it is so tiring that most of these men can't tolerate this anymore. They've decided to move away from dating the blacks, and now they are focused on dating just white women, and a lot of black women out there are losing their minds over this, and they are calling this they're naming it, and they're saying it's some sort of sorcery, that most of these white women are performing some sort of sorcery right now in 2026. I mean, people are telling other people what to date. People are telling other people what to love, what race to mingle with, and what races not to mingle with. That is what we are seeing right now, and that is what's causing a growing divide in the black community in America right now. The race and the growing divide between the black men and the black women. Most of them can't see eye to eye. Most of them are so angry about the fact that these NBA players, these successful, wealthy men, are getting married to white women. That is the whole picture right now. I mean, if you look at the black on black marriages and black on white marriages, and you look at the success rates, I mean, the statistics tell you everything you need to know. Most of these black men they're trying to date people who can help them grow progressively in life, not people who grew from the Bronx, have nothing, then you literally have something now, and then at the end of the day, most of these black women just want to be treated like queens, and they just want you to spend the money, and they don't help you grow. But most black men have seen that when they date white women, and most of these women help them to manage their resources very well and help them to grow. I mean, look at the case of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. That's a perfect story of this of interracial dating that works perfectly well. I think a lot of black men look at those kind of relationships as a role model, and look at the case of Thomas Clarence. I mean, a lot of people will say he's a traitor to the black community, but I mean, I'm just calling public figures so that you also know how successful this has been and how impactful most of these women have been to them. But I'm not also discrediting the fact that most black women out there are so industrious that will help the black men. The problem is most of them won't get you to that position where you want to be. I mean, the way they have been cultured, the way they reason, the things they want, it is completely different, and it's okay for you not to want to be with that person. So tell me what you think about this in the comment section.